Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to give you my review for the full season of the Netflix horror show The Haunting of Hill House. Now, I did a review for the pilot episode of this show a couple of weeks ago when it first came out, and that pilot episode I thought was really well made and definitely piqued my interest, and I was interested in watching the rest of the series, and I have done that now. I've watched all 10 episodes of this show, and I thought I would give you some of my thoughts on this horror show on Netflix. I have to say, I thought this show was really supremely crafted and very well made. And this show focuses on a family, the Crane family, mother and father and the 5 children, and it focuses on 2 time zones basically. It focuses on them as a family when they move into Hill House, and they move in there when the kids are young. The father, played by Henry Thomas, who you'll recognise from E.T., he flips houses basically. So they go into this house, and he thinks they're going to be in there for the summer. He's going to do up this house and sell it and make an absolute fortune in profit. So they move the family in. He gets working on the house straight away, as his wife does as well. However, this house is not what it seems to be, and he's very clearly haunted. It makes that clear from the start. But also the second time zone is everybody when they're grown up. So you've got all 5 kids all grown up. And we have, let's have a look. We've got Stephen, we've got Olivia, we have Shirley, we have Luke, Theodora and Nell, the 5 kids. They're all grown up and they're all very scarred people in their own way. Stephen dealt with the issues with the house by writing about it. He wrote a popular novel based on Hill House, and he's now a horror writer. You've got Shirley, who runs a funeral home, so she deals with her grief in that way by helping other people deal with their grief, if you like. You've got Luke, who is a dysfunctional person to say the least, and is a drug addict, and he spent his whole life fighting addiction. You've got Nell, who is very disturbed. She's Luke's twin, but she's been very disturbed her whole life, trying to cope with everything that she dealt with the house. And you've got Theodora, who's a child psychologist who also is very sensitive and wears gloves all the time because she can sense things as she touches them. So you've got all these kids, and the father, who played by Henry Thomas when they're young, and he's played by is it Timothy? It's Timothy Hutton, isn't it? Yes, Timothy Hutton plays the father in present time. And they're all brought together basically through a tragedy. One of the children decides to go back to the house, and he's found dead. Now, I won't reveal who. I'll leave that for you to watch. But this brings them all together, and it drags the past up. They've all got to face their fears, etc, and ultimately leads to a confrontation at the house right at the end. So that's all I really want to say in this story, because I want to leave you to discover it yourself if you haven't seen it yet. What I will say is I found this, like I say, a really well made show. What drew me to this show was that I kept seeing all these things on Facebook and social media, you know, this advertising stuff. Oh, this new Netflix horror show has people fainting with fear and that kind of stuff, and I thought, oh, now I'm interested. Well, I'm sad to report that, you know, it ain't gonna have you fainting in fear, this show. Don't get me wrong, there are some frightening moments in it, more than a few, and a few shocks, and it make you jump here and there, and very spooky at times, but it ain't terrifying in the sense that it's going to paralyse you in fear or anything. No, I think that's just advertising gumph basically. However, it's really well made, really well acted, and I thought what they did, to say they had so many child actors to get in this film, they chose actors who were excellent. All the child actors I thought in the show did a really good job, and that's hard to do, to get 5 talented kid actors. I mean, one of them is Lulu Wilson, who has done quite a few horror movies. She's making a bit of a name for herself in the horror genre now. And what I also thought they got right is in the casting, for the majority, in regards to the kids they cast, the adult counterparts, I thought were almost perfect matches in some cases. Very, very impressive casting, I would suggest. And at times this show was really, really heartbreaking too, and very, very emotional. I do say, I don't mind saying that by the end, I had a little tear in my eye by the end of this show. And it takes a lot really for me to get emotional with a show, but this did it, and I thought it was really well made. A really strong Netflix show. I don't usually have a lot of time for TV shows, mainly through the channel and what I do. I don't always have an awful lot of time to commit to watching a show. I've done it for 2 this year. Well, apart from the X-Files one, I've done it for the Terror TV show, which I highly recommend. I thought that was outstanding, and I've done it for this. I've committed and watched all of this as well. And I finished Stranger Things finally, but that was from last year. But I do recommend this show, guys, if you like a good, well written, well made, spooky story. This is a really nicely constructed Netflix show, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I had a great time watching it. Really well made, pretty scary at times, really effective, great acting, great writing, and definitely worth a watch. So there you go, that's my review for The Haunting of Hill House, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of the show, and I thank you once again for watching.